Ready? 3, 2, 1. Alright, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to the Nathan and Dylan podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Dylan.
Alright, and today we're going to go right into our review with the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, so we just finished watching Shawshank Redemption. The story follows a man named Andy Dufresne, who is falsely convicted of murdering his wife and his wife's lover, and is sent to jail for 2 life sentences. And over the course of the movie, you see Andy struggle through the prison system. He makes bonds along the way with his friends, especially with Morgan Freeman playing Red, his best friend. But along the course of the movie, you see Andy Dufresne change as a man. Once coming into the prison, a very timid guy who didn't really,
very self-contained.
Exactly, into the man of a man who was destined to do more than just be incarcerated. That's the way I'd put it. And yeah, that's basically the brief summary of Shawshank Redemption.
Yep, so I think we're going to go right into our first topic, the cinematography and directing choices. Would you like to start us out?
Yeah, I absolutely love the cinematography in Shawshank Redemption. I think there are some shots that are so iconic in the movie that are like forever immortalized. I think the most iconic shot is Andy. As soon as he escapes the prison, he goes into the sewer, comes out to the pool, and then he's just standing in the rain, bare chested, and he's just looking up, and the camera just pans upon him as he's as he celebrates his freedom. That is an absolutely amazing shot. Very well done, and overall, very well done and well done cinematography as a whole.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the film is better shot than it really should be. I think it just does an amazing job. Like, it's this dirty prison, but it just looks beautiful from the way it's shot. The way it's able to use the colors and the time of day to help light up the prison, it makes it look a lot better. And I think it kind of shows how, despite it being this dark prison, there's still some bright themes in it, which I think is a little thing that they tried doing with the cinematography.
For sure.
I also like how they used music in the film, because I think the music helped play scenes through and made it look very beautiful. There's one scene where Andy he takes over an office and he plays a record for the entire prison to hear. And I believe it was some Italian classical thing.
Soap opera.
Yeah, exactly. And when it plays it's this beautiful scene where everyone in the prison, it's
they just stop.
Everyone just stops, and they've never heard something so good in so long, because it was just a beautiful sound. And I think the shot showing everyone kind of realizing it's playing was also a beautiful shot.
Yeah, for sure. There was a wide pan shot, and you would see the entire prison. Everyone just stands still and listen to the music playing. It was beautiful. But before we go into our rest of the notes, I wanted to talk to you. To this day, although I understand it was a very beautiful shot, I want to understand or grasp the concept of what that scene, the symbolism behind that scene, truly was. So do you have any ideas on that?
When they play the music?
Yeah, Andy.
I think there's a lot that goes on with that scene. I think when Andy plays the music and everyone kind of finds it, he's bringing out the light in people. He's showing that everyone's still a good person, and despite them being locked up for doing bad things, they're still good people in a sense. And I think when it's shut down by the warning, it's just them seizing control, just how they try to do throughout the film. And it just shows that no matter how good of a people they are, they're always just going to be forced into this way of life. They can't escape it.
Yeah. That's very well said. Very well said. Yeah.
I think another thing I liked was necessarily, I guess, relates to the directing is line delivery. Just the way it's written, it definitely fits the timeline of the film, which is, I believe, in the 1930s, 40s?
1940s to 1960s.
Okay. So I think they definitely talk within that timeline, and it just makes the overall tone of the film feel nostalgic, because they talk like the timeline, and they talk the same throughout the 20 years, because they're not out in the outside world to learn this new language.
Yeah.
So they kind of speak their own confined language, which kind of adds to the overall tone of the film.
And realism as well.
Yeah. Which it just makes it feel a little more, I like the choice that they made by doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I think when we're on the topic of that, the dialogue in the film is exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
There are some very memorable lines that I will always remember. One of my favorite lines from Morgan Freeman was that he was calling Andy. It was like that. What's it called? The analogy of Andy being the bright bird. Remember the bird with the feathers?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was such a beautiful dialogue. I'm not sure what exactly was the word, but it just said some birds are just too bright to be kept in a cage.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. And that was such a beautiful analogy to the character and the spirit of Andy. How he was destined to be more than just locked up in that prison. He accomplished so much in the prison. He tried to make it his home, like the library, tutoring and trying to educate
Tommy.
Tommy, exactly. But in the end, they all kind of went to, it didn't turn out the way Andy did. And in the end, that's when Andy decides to find his freedom.
I think, yeah, to add on to it, I think the way that the director kind of writes it, like all the dialogue and the way that the characters speak, it's like, I think it just shows that all of them still have hope in this life where they're just doomed to be moody and grumpy. But some of the characters, like the way they talk, there's just such hope in them, and it's almost like a really good feeling on the inside to know that they're still like able to stay positive given their situation. And when you see them free, it just kind of helps, like, it just makes it happier for them that they're able to move on from this huge event in their life.
100%. I think that's the perfect segue into acting.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the Shawshank Redemption has some of the most influential and just well-acted characters I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I think a standout, as always, is Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Freeman did an amazing job playing Ben, acting as the narrator in the film.
I think, I think every character in the film has really good moments. Like, for an example, we'll cut that. We'll cut it. Okay, so we're gonna cut that and we're gonna start right here. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that, we gotta cut off, but yeah, I think I agree. Every person in the film, every actor does an amazing job of achieving what their character is. Like, I think every role was perfectly casted. It's like, you have Red, which is this old guy who's like, kind of just living life. He doesn't really care anymore, and he's just kind of living, like, amazing job by Morgan Freeman. And you even have these guys where it's like, they're able to do their jobs so well that you hate them so much. Yeah. Like the Hadley, the main guard, played by Clancy Brown, who's actually the voice actor of Mr. Krabs, funny enough. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it's this guy who plays a character in a kid's cartoon, and you see him do this like outstanding performance where he's such an evil villain, it's like, you can't help but appreciate the acting and the writing that they went through to make this film.
Yeah. I think one of the standout characters, the ones that I always remember the most.
What? Who's gonna pop out, right? So we went down the stairs? Okay, yeah.